Bing
'Tis the season
bong,
to be
ba-doop-a-dum,
jolly
bum,
and
ba-doom,
joyous.
ba-da, ba-ba-da-ba-da.
Hello, Sweet Peas. This is our last video of the year, which is crazy.
That is right. Sorry, I don't feel good. I am probably sick. Here's
Yeah.
what happened. Let's rehash.
Yeah.
At like 5 p.m. 2 days ago, my throat hurt. And I was like, oh, this is bad. And then overnight it just got worse, but I had to drive my little brother to work, so I took a Dayquil at night. Then I woke up, felt like if dog poop had been eaten by a dog and pooped again. Mm-hmm. It was awful. And I was like, I'll take NyQuil. Because the NyQuil, you guys know the Alka-Seltzer NyQuil? It's like the tablets you put in the thing. That is magic to me.
You always call it NyQuil. Is it not just Alka-Seltzer?
Isn't Alka-Seltzer normally for hurt tummy?
Yeah, but
It's
like...
not that, though.
Oh, okay.
It's like it's the same ingredients in NyQuil. It's like acetaminophen, it's got a Benadryl type component, antihistamine, it's got like a nasal decongestant something. It's like 4 things. And you put it in a little bit of water. It's terrible. It's orange flavored.
It's awful.
It's horrible, and it's warm, and it's bad.
I've heard some people put like honey in it, but honestly, I just think of it as like big medicine.
Yeah.
And just like, it's just gonna be bad.
It's a little bit
down it.
It's like less bad if you use the full amount. They want you to do like 8 ounces of liquid or whatever. So if you drink it like that's a little bit less bad. But anyway,
it's 8 ounces.
That's how I'm feeling. Anyway, took that, and then I slept for like 5 hours because I took that in the morning at like 8 a.m. Anyway, and I've just been trying to recover, and I got a weird headache. Anyway, I'll probably take a
We didn't
COVID
go
test.
to New Year's Eve
No.
or Christmas Eve, in case that's not clear.
Yeah.
So we didn't make food for that. We still have the ingredients, so we will be making. I'm still making mac and cheese later today because I feel fine and I want to eat mac and cheese.
The other thing is that this has only been like a 48-ish hour weird thing, and anyway.
We didn't want to get anyone sick.
We have immunocompromised people at our Christmas this year, especially. So like that's really we would always ask and see how everybody's feeling, but I don't know when
We made the call this time.
I was on
not
call.
go.
Yeah, which we usually do. I mean, we do before.
Yeah, but
Anyway, so that's if I look like have taken 2 NyQuil last night and then an Imitrex earlier. That is true.
we're just gonna do like a little wrap up of the year.
Let's have a wrap sesh.
Yeah. We're going to talk about our favorite moments from the year and then some of our goals for next year.
Yeah.
I really like watching when other people do videos like this. We haven't done a video like this. We used to do this every year on stream.
Yeah.
For the past couple of years, we would do bingo for the year, which, by the way, I looked at it. We both did so bad this year.
Oh, I'm sure we did. It was so much worse than we could have pictured. And we try to keep it kind of fun.
We usually do like 2 or 3 blocks where it's like something kind of stressful happens, but then most of it's like silly. So like one of mine was like a Taylor Swift like pregnancy.
Yeah.
That hasn't happened.
Right.
I mean, there's still a couple days left, I guess, in the year.
That's true.
And then things like that. So we will probably still do bingo, just like not live on stream. We don't really stream anymore just because like it's a lot to like be live versus like filming something and editing.
I think it's also at this point in our content creation atmosphere, there are more people on YouTube who are watching YouTube. So doing the YouTube is less work for more eyeballs.
It's more hours because stream is just, you're only really working,
That's
for the
true.
most part, the hours that you're on stream.
Yeah.
So it is more time to do YouTube videos.
Yeah.
But like, and also everyone's different. So some people would much rather be streamers than like YouTubers.
Yeah.
We're just not. I really love YouTube.
Yeah, I have a hard time being perceived live in this.
It's also much harder to not say the baby's name or like to think through personal details, whether we want to share them or not, because we usually check in with each other.
Yes.
Anytime the video like vaguely has the baby in it, we both are watching it before it goes live to be like, do you think this is fine? Because we obviously don't share too much about him for many, many reasons. But that way we both are like aware of what's out there.
Yeah.
Typically just like stuff that's normal toddler things, but we try to never share anything like embarrassing the way some people talk about like potty training or other things like that. And then like medical details. Anyway, yeah. So it's much harder to check in with each other. Not that I think Felix would go live and be like, here's all the baby's personal information.
No.
But because that's like a boundary we have with our job, it's easier to do.
It's easier to
not
have the
live.
other person vetting something.
Anyway, so this is something we normally do on stream.
Yes.
Instead, we're making it a Vlogmas.
Yes.
First, let's talk about some of our favorite memories. I call this section like memories and also brags because we had goals for last year. I know it's a squeaky table now.
We hit almost none of the goals.
We hit none of our work goals.
I don't feel bad about that.
I don't either. It's been a stressful year
for
everyone.
For my notes, I put successes.
Oh, that's good.
That was what I put, and they're mostly unhinged. But.
Yeah, not a lot of them have to do with work, which is fine. What I do feel like first success for work is we put a lot more work into the YouTube this year.
Yeah,
and it has paid off by hitting 20,000.
Yeah,
subscribers on YouTube.
Similarly to that, we didn't quit our job. I feel like that is possibly the biggest success of this year because it just kept being right on the edge of, do we have to not be doing this anymore? And I think that may continue a little bit into next year, but from the beginning of doing this job, I feel like we've attempted to diversify in the ways that we're able to, and right now, ads is dead. But the Patreon is great. YouTube, going better than ever, continuing to go well. So, yeah, I think we didn't quit our jobs, and that's good. Because, again, the problem is, if you haven't heard us explain this before, if one of us, like, there's so much hours involved in content creation, and the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. And so if one of us was to not be doing this as a full-time job anymore, it would essentially kill it for both of us, because we would be putting out so much less content, it, like, wouldn't even be worth it. And we really, 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 really like the flexibility that is afforded with this kind of work.
We also really like the work. Like, especially how it is right now, I really love long-form editing. Yeah. I really love YouTube and stuff like that. Felix really likes having, like, the creativity of short form.
Yeah, the flexibility of schedule is huge because we get to spend a ton of time with the baby. We would not be able to do any of the community organizing things that we do if one of us had, like a 9-to-5 type job. Like, that just wouldn't be possible. Yeah. So currently, right now, I think it's worth it. And I hope to feel that way next year also. We'll see.
Yeah, it's something we have to constantly evaluate. Not that we're complaining. I think that's kind of what a lot of people are doing with basically all jobs right now. Yeah. Because nobody's making enough money. Yeah. Nothing is going great in the economy.
Hardly anybody's hiring.
Right. So
it's kind of like,
hopefully what you're hearing is relatability.
Yes. Also, like, I don't know. I feel like we don't see a lot of content creators talk about, like, wage transparency and things like that. And it's something that we used to do a lot more, and now I think we've scaled back on that mostly because we're not doing, like, great, and so we don't want people to, like, feel compelled.
This year we learned the term dry begging.
Yes.
I'd never heard it before.
Great word.
And I don't ever want it to seem like that's what we're doing. No. So, yeah, that's the real reason we don't really post wage transparency anymore.
But in case you need that, like, level of solidarity, like, we are on WIC, we are on Oregon Health Plan, our kiddo gets to go to a really sick income-based 2 days a week, like, early preschool, basically. All of those programs have been monumentally helpful in us being able to exist under capitalism in a time where everything is so expensive and super difficult. So yeah, I think we're doing good. We're doing okay. Like, we're not like,
we have a great therapist that's covered by OHP.
Yes. Thank God. Yeah. But yeah, it's just like things are tough. They are much harder for other people.
Yeah, as a member of the nosy community, I really love when anyone posts wage transparency videos. Yeah. And I think especially as content creators, it's so crazy because, like, last January we had one brand deal that was $15,000. Yeah. And then we didn't have any other brand deals basically the rest of the year, with the exception of we did one in June. Yeah. That was a little over $1,000, and then we just did one for Oregon Health Insurance Marketplace. That is $6,000, but we won't. The other thing about content creation is you don't get paid until like sometimes like 2 or 3 months later. Yeah. So we won't see that money till next year. Right. And that's it. Every like other bit of money that we made was just from YouTube and just from Patreon. Yes. So thank you so much to every single person who watches these.
We typically, I would say, like, on average, get between, like, we were getting more like $400 from YouTube at the beginning of the year, and now it's been upped into more like $600. Our estimated revenue for Vlogmas is like $1,500 or something crazy, which is bananas. So thank you so much for watching. It really does so much. And then on Patreon, we pretty consistently get like $1,700 a month. And then we pay part of the mortgage to my parents because we all live in this home together, and it's $1,500. We also couldn't live in an apartment and do this job. Like, we have the flexibility of either being able able to pay my parents like half at the beginning of the month, half at the middle of the month, or like a couple days late, or like whatever. But we would be like screwed if we had like a regular apartment.
Yeah, so we're in a huge place of privilege.
Huge place of privilege.
That's why we're able to do this.
We have an incredible support system. Like, we're doing fine. But yes, it's been hard. I think it's been hard for everybody. So we're glad that you're still here.
Yeah, it's been a hard year, which is all the more reason to
celebrate the things that have gone well.
So yeah, hitting 20,000 on YouTube, huge.
Huge.
We're at 158,000 on Instagram.
Huge.
We hate Meta, right? We all do.
I've stopped posting on Facebook completely.
It is like
I hate Meta.
Where most brands, when we do get ads, like
are
gonna find us.
Instagram,
and so I don't think Instagram's gonna die anytime soon.
No. It's also where like so many of like our audience are in terms of like age group and like demographics. So I think it's really, really good to be able to reach that group of people. I don't know. I think we're staying on Instagram. I wish we didn't.
We're still on TikTok. I do think TikTok is dying. If you're still on TikTok, let me know.
Yeah. Y'all seen the commercials for TikTok on television? That's how you know an app's dying. You guys remember when Snapchat was doing that?
Snapchat still does that. Snapchat is getting a resurgence. Not with us, but I guess with like Gen Z. They're on Snapchat.
So
I'm not on Snapchat.
No.
If that is where content creation moves to, because it's constantly evolving, we'll figure it out. But we're not there yet.
I think Snapchat could pay me to be on Snapchat. Snapchat, if you're listening, I could be paid, but it would be a lot.
Convince me, Snapchat. Tell me about your app now. Yeah, that's huge. TikTok is dying. I'm trying to figure out how to get more of our TikTok audience to YouTube because I am really proud of the content that we make and I think they'd like it.
Here's the thing with our TikTok audience. The reason TikTok is dead is because the algorithm has changed so drastically so many times that it is not possible to reach your own audience. Every single time we post something, we get people being like, oh my God, I haven't seen you guys in like forever. And it's like, I can tell based on our engagement on TikTok. And it's because so many people are deleting the apps off of their phone, which is, I mean, great. Like if you don't want to be on TikTok anymore, get out of there, girl.
Yeah, I haven't been on there.
Flee that ship like a rat. Like, get out. I wish that was me. Unfortunately, we will be playing the violin as it sinks. Sorry. I wish we weren't. But, what was I going to say? Oh, yes. So it's just, and they just keep on pushing for ads, and everybody hates ads. So there are also...
It's like all ads.
It's like TikTok Shop, and then also the like weird, like the Trump administration brought back TikTok stuff. Like, since that has happened, it has gotten so unbelievably weird. And people don't see, Miss Frazzled, who is a mutual of ours who we really like, she has like 2 million followers, 1.5 million followers on TikTok. I've seen her post things that get 2,000 views.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be happening. Like, that's bananas. Like, at least let us reach our own followers. Anyway, Instagram is a lot better for that.
Yeah. So Instagram also, I feel, does pretty well, at least for us, to get new people in as well.
Yeah. She's a stable application at this point. And when she stops being stable, we're here.
Yeah.
So thanks for being here. But yeah.
We did a lot of really fun things this year. We visited Mobile in June, which is my hometown. That was probably my favorite moment of the whole year. It was really exciting to take the baby to a place that means a lot to me. It was really exciting to have him meet a bunch of the people that I really love. I got to see a bunch of my cousins that I hadn't seen in like years. We got to stay with my brother and his wife and their kiddo, which is really great. We're really close with them. That was really nice.
The baby loves to FaceTime that baby. Our baby.
Our baby loves to FaceTime their baby. At least he would love to FaceTime her 5 times a day.
More than that.
We do try to FaceTime like 5 times a week. But it was great. He got to meet his great-grandmother, who was like one of my favorite people in the whole world. That was probably like one of my favorite moments of my life. That was really great. Similar time to that over the summer, baby's first birthday. Huge success.
Yeah.
We did a lot of crafts for it. I feel like a lot of people were obviously excited to celebrate him. And also we put a thing on our invite this year that was like, we really want like homemade gifts or no gifts, because like he has enough stuff.
We said homemade or thrifted.
Or thrifted.
Or not. We're like, no gifts, but if you must, homemade or thrifted would be great.
I think people just aren't ready to show up to a kid's party with no gift, which I think is like a good instinct after like maybe 4 or 5.
That's kind of
how kids are excited for gifts.
Yeah.
But for a 1, 2, 3-year-old, they don't really know how many gifts they should have based on how many guests show up. So yeah, but I think almost everyone followed the prompt.
Most of them are thrifted.
Yeah, I think there were like maybe 2 people who bought something new because they had an idea to give him something specific.
The coolest thing that we did was our incredible artist friend designed an invitation, and it was
picture.
Picture. Our friend Lemon, who is amazing, by the way. You can check out their shop online, sunnyshouse.com.
We drop it. We name drop it every single chance we get.
Every chance we get,
because we want
it's incredible.
everyone to buy stuff from there.
Purchase things from them. They're great.
But yeah, great invite. I think they're gonna do his invites this year. It's probably the next big thing we'll be working on after the new year, because it's gonna be Bear in the Big Blue House themed.
Bear in
you
the
guys
Big
know
Two House.
because he'll be 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also I love birthdays. I've always been a big birthday fan. So to have someone else to plan a birthday party for it, because Felix doesn't really want a birthday party. Sad for me.
Yeah.
Is great. As at least while he's really small and we get to plan everything. I'm very excited for him to be like 4 and be like, I want a fart themed birthday party.
Yes.
So yeah, anyway, I thought that was great. Felix and we actually saw a lot of theater this year, which was one of my big goals for 2025. I hope we can see more this coming up year, but we saw, the only like touring production we saw was The Lion King.
Amazing.
That we went for Felix's birthday. It was
amazing.
So good.
The Lion King's so good.
It's so good. I love live theater.
I love puppets.
I love puppets.
I love them.
Big fan of puppets.
Yes. But we prioritize Morgan seeing things too if I couldn't go to them.
Yeah.
So like her and my mom went to Evil Dead the Musical, had a really good time. That was here in town.
Yeah. We saw the producers.
We saw the producers. We saw Bo was in Big Fish.
Yeah.
And they're really good.
How was this year?
I think we've been sort of trying to get back into going to like we need to find some like either like children's theater or like
we want to get the baby. He really loves musicals at home. He's really into Wicked.
I need them to be doing, I guess when the weather is nice, but I need there to be more performances that are outside where a toddler can run around in grass, because like if he can just get his energy out and then chill, he'll be stoked to watch what's going on. Yeah. But right now, not quite yet to the
He's not quite ready.
Not sitting for 45 minutes.
No, he can't really get through a 30-minute cartoon, which is fine. No. It's not, he's 18 months old.
We
That's
don't
what he's
hold
supposed
him
to
down
do.
or anything. Yeah.
No.
We just also get out the Play-Doh.
Kyle visited this year, met the baby.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
Yes.
Kyle and I have very similar energy. Mm-hmm. They are also a content creator, mostly short form. They're on YouTube a little bit.
We have a running joke that Kyle is our sperm donor.
Yeah.
Kyle is not our sperm donor, but Kyle was visiting when Morgan got pregnant. So that's where that joke comes from. Lore drop for you.
Yeah.
You will, in the following many years, continue to hear us refer to
The best part is that every time we make any sort of joke like that in short form, almost every time our video at least goes to the For You page enough for people to be really confused.
Yes.
That's really fun for us.
Oftentimes people will be like, what a weird throuple. And we're like,
thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Sure.
The baby got into school this year.
Yeah.
That, I think, is a huge success because I was really nervous about it. And then there was like kind of a lot of paperwork to get him into it because it's income based. Like there's a lot of stuff you have to like show them, which is fine. I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
But it was just like a lot of paperwork. And it was like the first like big wave of like mom guilt that I had because I was like, I shouldn't be having so many issues filling out the paperwork wrong. And they were really nice. They were never snotty to us about it. But anyway, so him getting into school, huge success. He also really likes it mostly. He has a hard time with drop off sometimes, which is very developmentally appropriate. But, he's making baby friends. That's been really nice, like having other parent friends.
The school he goes to is sick, though.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Because it's income based, it's like you don't have to send your kid with anything.
Yeah.
It's 2 days a week. It's like 3 hours. So they do breakfast and lunch while they're there. And then they just hang out and play all day. They go outside every day. If your kid like finger paints or whatever and gets like something on their shirt, they just like give them another shirt. Which is another thing that's kind of cool is because we do the kids clothing swap, I'm just like constantly supplying them with additional children's clothes. So it's really funny when we'll like send, a bag of clothes with our teacher and then I'll like see our baby in that shirt like 2 weeks later, which is kind of funny.
Oh, he's messy.
They also do like check-ins at your house, like home visits. It's amazing. It's an amazing program. It's like it's the coolest program.
Yeah. If you live in Salem and you want to know more about it, message us.
We'll give you all the details. Yeah. They're amazing.
Oh, I feel like we had a lot of success with having a no-buy year.
Yeah.
I called it like our buy less year because like we aren't really in a position to like grow all our food or things like that. Yeah. So it was more like a buy less year, but I don't think we bought anything on Amazon.
I think we got one thing on Amazon. I also want to be really clear. Yeah. The energy and the vibes that we have had towards Amazon have shifted in this year. They've always been negative. We've always hated them, but I think that at this point, and also for the whole year of 2026 and moving forward, I'm like, screw those guys.
Yeah, well,
I'm not giving them a freaking cent. Unless it's like an absolute, and then even then, like, what would that be?
It's been, anything that we would have gotten on Amazon, we just do like a lot of Googling ahead of time. And also I got accepted into our neighborhood buy nothing this year. Huge for me.
Huge.
If you haven't heard me complain about this, and I've actually changed my tune a little bit, our Salem's Buy Nothing is set up by neighborhood.
Yeah.
So you have to know what, like, your neighborhood is, meaning, like, your neighborhood association. I didn't know what neighborhood we were in. Because the questionnaire you fill out is, like, what are the 2 main streets...
There's a link to find out.
...nearest your house. I didn't know that. And so I had been messaging different admins, being like, how am I supposed to know? I'm just a girl. So anyway, this year I got in the right Buy Nothing.
Yeah.
I used to feel like it's so stupid that it's set up by neighborhood. Like, it's my business if I want to drive across town. And now I've changed my tune a little bit because while I do think maybe, I guess I don't know how they do that. While I do think that I probably have the right to drive 30 minutes to get something if I'm the first one to comment, because there's less people in the group. Each person is more likely to get the things posted. And also, anytime I'm picking anything up or someone's picking something up from me, it's like a 10-minute drive. So I am seeing the benefits of doing it by neighborhood.
Yeah.
What I wish there was, though, is that you do it by neighborhood, and then there's, like, another Facebook group that is everyone, because then when I want to get something, like, get rid of something quickly,
yeah,
I'll be like, anyone in the world can have this right now.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where you live. So, anyway, I'm also in the Albany Buy Nothing group, because if I wanted to drive all the way to Albany, I feel like that's my business.
In our buy less vibes, though, we've bought almost nothing new.
Yeah.
Like, almost nothing. Really very little, though.
Yeah.
But we have bought things secondhand.
Oh, yeah, we're always thrifting, as you've seen.
Yeah. Here's the problem. Here's another thing I want to say. I was just thinking about this as I was having delusional falling asleep NyQuil thoughts. People are always like, you guys are so blessed by the thrift gods, and that is part of it. And that's
great for us.
And that is, thank you.
And thank you for that. To the gods.
Thank you to $8 God. But the other thing that we do is that, like, we have a lot of, like, weird free time and, like, oh, I need to make something for content creation, let me go whatever. So that's part of it. We're rarely, like, seeking something out. When we found $20 wagon, we were not looking for $20 wagon.
No, I mean, we have a thrift list, and the wagon was on there, because we knew we wanted one for zoo lights this year.
Yeah.
So it's been on our thrift list for 6 months.
That's true. But it's really,
But we weren't there looking for wagon.
No. What it is the most is that we have, that's true, we have a shared running list of, like, things that we want to purchase.
With our whole house.
That will eventually, once it's been on that for so long, eventually that gets moved to like, okay, we have to, like, purchase this thing new. But I would say the people that you live with, whoever that may be, make a shared note on your phone, thrift list, or, like, weird things that you're looking for. That's part of it, is that we're just, whenever we're there, we're looking at basically everything, except for clothes.
Before we go in, we look at the list, see what everyone's looking for.
Yes.
We also go to estate sales. People always ask how we find estate sales. It's
estatesales.net.
Estatesales.net. It's just a website. You put in your zip code.
Yep.
Or what's great about that is if you're on vacation, put in the zip code of where you're at.
Yeah. And if you're looking for free swaps, you can go to CouplaGoofs.wordpress.com, and this will talk about free swaps in your area. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to take a peek at it. We're going to be up at the cabin, and so I'm going to look at the Washington area swaps that are upcoming. This is not every swap in the entire world listed on this. It's just the ones that have been sent to me. So presumably either a gay person has attended one or heard about it from somebody who has been to one. So you can presume that they're vibey, even if sometimes they're at a church or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. The swaps have also obviously helped with our buy less year.
So much.
Yeah, the holiday gift exchange swap thing. Huge success. So they're planning on doing another one.
Yes, we didn't get anything from that.
No.
We got maybe one thing from that?
Oh, that's true. I got Garden State on DVD.
That's true. That was one of the weird leftover movies.
Yeah, and I love Zach Braff, as you all know. Yeah. That's why I married him.
Right.
The last thing I have on my brags is doctor successes. You can skip to this time if you don't want to hear about me going to the doctor more this year. But, number one, people said, and doctors said, that 18 months, like 17, 18 months after pregnancy, or after birth, is like when you start, like when your hormones kind of balance out. And I was like, okay, that's not real. And they're so right, because I feel like I was Bella waking up as a vampire. I feel like 2 weeks ago, I was like, I'm me again. Like, it was so crazy. In that, as you know, I have medical trauma. And I have a hard time being really honest with my doctors because I feel like they're not going to believe me anytime I talk. And I worked really hard on that this year with my therapist. So I went to physical therapy this year. I graduated actually from physical therapy a week ago. And then also as I've been going to my OB, being like, this is what we're thinking for maybe getting pregnant for the next baby, like just to keep you updated. Or like if I was concerned about like losing weight or gaining weight or this happening, or anyway, I was like very honest with a lot of my doctors this year, and so I am on like, you know, different medications. Well, the same medications, different dosages. Got some stuff that's working for me, which is great. Yeah, so I'm really proud of myself because I hate to go to the doctor. The next thing I have to do is call the podiatrist because my feet constantly hurt all the time because I'm pretty sure I have flat feet. I don't want to do that. But after the new year, that's my next big doctor goal.
While we're on the topic of like doctor and medical things, I would like to talk about weight stuff for 1 second. Skip to this time.
Skip to the same, probably the same time.
This time.
Reminder?
I'm not gonna, I promise I won't be what I presume to be stressful, but if you don't want to hear anything at all, skip to right here.
Yeah.
We would tell you if we were on Ozempic.
Oh my god.
This is what I would like to say.
Are people commenting that?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god, no.
People comment that on Kindle stuff.
Stressful.
All the time.
We see people get these comments. I don't think there's any reason anybody would comment that. If that was happening, we would tell you.
Yeah.
But we just wouldn't do that, generally speaking.
I would say there's many reasons why we wouldn't do it.
But all of this to say, what we are currently this is not a success, this is a neutral. What we're currently doing right now is chasing a toddler around a lot.
People are not kidding when they say it's like a workout.
It is so much running around chasing toddler. So I think that our like daily activity has changed significantly, and so I think that both of us, like, our pants don't fit us anymore.
Especially
which is mostly annoying.
Yeah.
Particularly compared to Morgan when she was like pregnant.
Right.
So anyway, just if you're noticing a change in us, that's whatever. That's fine. Like, we're very like.
I think we all know. Yeah. I think also like you're just like really surviving, and we have like a very good, I feel like, communication style and established and good relationship, and even that you're like really just like surviving the first, like, especially 6 months, but the first year of parenthood.
Yeah.
And so like we were eating like 8 pieces of mozzarella sticks.
Yeah.
Between like
it's not a good thing.
No. So like I think we just weren't really as balanced last year compared to this year, and now it's like we're breathing a little bit better.
We're like breathing, we're eating food amounts, which is great.
Normal times.
Which is going well. Yeah. And then we're doing a lot of sprinting around with a toddler because, you know, you gotta chase them. So anyway, this is just like a vibe check. Like, don't be stressed.
Just so you know. Okay.
My successes.
Doctor time over. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm excited to hear what you wrote down.
Oh.
We didn't go over these beforehand, by the way.
The library levy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call that my success personally.
No, but it was like your team.
Yeah. Well, there was a couple of different teams that were involved, but I would say that me and my great friend Jim Shepke, who was the Oregon State librarian for many, many years. Picture. Jim.
Everyone tell Jim how cute he is. He doesn't watch these.
We love Jim.
I wish he did.
Jim, we're going to make sure to say Jim Shepke fan club.
We really
He's
want
incredible.
Them.
Also, shout out to his wife Anne, who I'm obsessed with.
Who we also love.
Who we love. She wrote like she wrote a scholarly article about swaps.
Oh.
In like 2010 or something. She's incredible. I'm obsessed with her. Anyway, yeah, me and Jim worked really hard. We worked with our friend Sadie. We worked with a lot of people. It's how I first got involved in like city stuff at all whatsoever, because I was stressed out that the library might shut down. It would have gone down to 20 hours and then would have had to shut down, because if anyone called out, then they would have cut it. And then once your library goes under 20 hours, it stops getting any federal funding, which obviously the federal funding's sketchy anyway, but you can't call yourself a library, and so you lose all of your funding, and then it would shut down. So the library, thriving, open an additional weekday.
Yeah.
We have library on
And
Sundays.
it's like always kind of bumping.
It's crazy bumping. And I think that's the thing, is that it's like, it was never not bumping. Like, in Salem, it was a very easy sell to tell people, like, yeah, vote to support the library. It was a tax on property owners. It's a whole thing. But it passed, which is great. And we did a lot of, it was my first kind of like step into like social media, political, local activism stuff, and I feel really good about it, and I feel like it went great, so that was really fun.
It's a great reminder that, you know, you really can make a difference.
Yes, absolutely. And then, so because of, let me just make sure, yes, jumping off point from the library stuff, that page that was like Salem for Libraries,
Yes for Salem
Libraries, whatever, converted that into a Circular Salem page, which is the group that my friend Holly and I have created. We've got some fun things that we're going to be doing next year. Our plan is to have a repair fair in the summer at the library with just like a bunch of different like people who know
Like
how to
technicians.
fix stuff. Yeah,
And
like,
also just mechanically oriented minds.
yes, yeah. There's anyway, that's gonna be cool. We're really excited about it. The library used to do this thing. It was called like Talk to the Experts Day, which is like a very similar concept, but they would essentially have like a TED Talk in the middle of the library because it used to be like not as anyway. It's cute. So the library is who we're partnering with, Circular Salem. Super excited about that. I think we're going to try to do another really, really free market with the library this year. Holly and I talked about how we're just going to put like the kids' clothing swap underneath the umbrella of Circular Salem
I think that makes
officially.
sense.
She was like, is there a reason we're not doing that? Do you just want it to be your own? And I was like, oh my God, no, it would make my life so much easier if we could call it Circular Salem. So Circular Salem stuff's going well. So that's really good. I'm excited about that. The other thing is, I would say getting involved with Indivisible, the Indivisible girlies. That has been great. You know, it's just with everything going on in the world, it is stressful. And so it is nice to be amongst like-minded people who are all trying to do something in the specific ways that they're able to, and then also do something together. And I love that.
A lot of hope found in it for sure.
Yes, and that's been good.
Yeah. Did you have any other successes?
And that was what I was calling my successes. Do I have other successes?
I think you did a great job as a parent this year.
Oh, well, you didn't include that as one of your successes. I thought you did a great job as a parent.
Well, I think that's true. I think we both did a really good job. The baby we're obsessed with him. Obviously, we're not going to share a lot of details about him, but I feel like we have really found our groove a little bit more. Not that I think we did bad last year, but it's just a little easier, at least with this first one. The more you get to know him, the more he has opinions, the more he's able to share them, like communicating.
Yes, huge.
So I feel like we get a lot of compliments from our therapist, which I feel is always a good sign.
Yeah. Okay. Personal goals. These are going to be kind of short. I have to go to the dentist. I really don't want to go to the dentist. I have to go to the dentist.
Yeah.
It's going to be fine. But it's so much to go. Now it's like a real goal for this year. I've been saying it. It's like, I have to go. Now it's a goal.
Well, we have a dentist now.
Right. We didn't before, so that's part of it. 2, go to my annual checkup. Slightly less scary because I was just there for a separate reason, and I really like my primary care. Like, she's very cool. It's just hard to go to the doctor as a trans person, but it'll be fine. And then my other personal goal is to get more comfortable using the sewing machine. I'd love to do that. I feel like I'm slightly more comfortable, but I want to get like confident, really. And then I have content/business goals.
Oh, that's why you're making that face.
Yeah.
I'm with you now. Go ahead.
Yeah. Why'd you get scared?
I don't know. The face you made it seem like you were going to be like, delete all our social media.
And now this is we're gone.
Poof! That was good.
I'll do these in the order that I'm most excited about. Least excited to most excited. Salem City Council 101 guide. I need to make that. That shouldn't be too hard. I also want to make an Oregon voters guide. Like an actual one. I'm going to work with Girly Pop Politics, I think. Her name's Jane. She's really lovely. She worked on Virginia Stapleton's campaign. I was thinking originally just like Salem, and then I'm like, no, like our reach, like there are other people in Oregon. So anyway, I think it'll be a lot of work. But I think if we start working on it now, and if I have the help of Jane and we like have a couple meetings together and figure it out, I think that'll be good. Also, I could like tap into the Indivisible girlies for that because there are many things that I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think it could be helpful to folks in general. I want to make a lot of free swap propaganda. This year, 2026 is the year I am trying to make free swaps popular in the same way that Macklemore and thrift stores.
Yes.
I want to be the Macklemore of free swaps.
We can make a song, I think.
I think we could.
Pause. So many people have been like, I love the song that you guys are singing at the beginning of Vlogmas.
Oh my God.
Can we get a full one? It is from Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yes.
We did not make it up.
We didn't write it. I try to comment every time, like, we didn't write this as from Muppet Christmas Carol. Because previously our opening song was Muppets.
Clearly from the Muppets.
So we chose a Christmas Muppet song for Christmas time. It's Kermit and his nephew singing. And
Yeah.
Morgan's being Kermit and I'm being the nephew. Which is also funny because lore drop in that our opening.
In our normal Muppet opening.
Morgan's singing the low part and I'm singing the high part because I hadn't been on testosterone for as long as I have been now. So it sounds really funny. And then my last one.
People are going to be so into this.
Much to the dismay of my wife. I have not like started it yet. So like don't be. I really want to crowdfund for a box truck. I really want to crowdfund for a box truck so we can call it like the Circular Salem Free Stuff Mobile. And the idea is that it's going to essentially like house tubs of like things that people have donated to us. That way we can just do pop-up free markets wherever. And like I will let people know ahead of time, but I think that we could do what's it called? collaborations with like the Enchanted Forest and like the school that our baby goes to and
or other schools,
the community college, and like there's just like so many opportunities, particularly when the weather gets nice, for us to, if we've got the stuff in tubs and we're able to like move it around easier, I think it'll make our garage a lot emptier, which will be helpful.
I think the problem is it is a really good idea. It's just like so much time going in, and our baby's still so small. But also, it is something I'd want you to get set up before we had another baby.
Yes.
Which we're not pregnant.
No. God, no. No.
I just want you to know I can't keep a secret.
That's true.
And I love attention. So I would never, I know that Fraz and other people do that thing where they don't tell anyone they had a baby and then they just like drop the baby picture. I would never do that.
Yeah.
I love, similar to how I loved being a fiance.
Yeah.
I loved being pregnant. So
yes.
I would never do that.
That's true. But anyway.
Sorry.
I have this vision. You can get a box truck, like a decommissioned, like owned by the government one. There's like there's a couple of different ways to do it, but I think functionally, I don't think for the full crowdfunding, I don't think it would be more than like $6,000. And I also think that because it's something that is, the only time we've ever crowdfunded was for our maternity leave. Which even then it was like $1,500, and then people like way over exceeded it and were like so kind. This isn't the kind of thing that I want you to like put in money for. Like, this is going to be very much a benefit to the Salem, Oregon community. Yeah. So like my hope and my dream is that people who have been to our swaps will be like, oh, I'll chip in $5, because like that would be really sick. But yeah, that's my hope. What I need to do is essentially make a business proposal for my wife. Yeah. And then that is what I'm going to use to. But this is it's a thing. People get box trucks. This is what the People Store PDX has done. That's how they do distribution in unhoused encampments. Which is the other thing, is that because we work so closely with Salem Soup Squad, we could just like pair up with them every once in a while and do like, let's do drop-offs.
It's also, once you eventually had enough stuff, you could get like a storage unit where you keep like the Costco tubs. Yes. Or things like that. I think also like you could maybe ask Costco for tubs.
This is true.
You know, like if like
see
the
if folks
Salem
want
one.
Yeah. Do like a cute little ad for them. The barrier right now is that you're not supposed to park commercial vehicles on public property, so like sidewalks. So we need to make a friend who owns property in Salem where we can park it. Because even if, when
it's not like when
it's not in use, yeah, because it will obviously have to be like parked somewhere vibing. So yeah, I think I'm going to crowdfund for the truck, the first year of insurance, and yeah, that would basically be it. The baby's up. I'm going to snuggle the baby. Those are my thoughts. We'll keep you posted.
Hello, now it's just me. I have a lot more goals for the year, just because I like to talk and I like to dream. Sue me. I'll do my personal ones first and then work ones. Actually, you know what? I'll change it up to what Felix did, and I'll do work first because there's less of them. We hit 20,000 on YouTube, as I said earlier, this year. I would like to hit 40,000 by the end of next year. That's doubling what we have now. Obviously, that is a huge goal. But how I feel about the work goals is that if we don't hit them, it's fine. We didn't hit any of them this year because I wanted to hit 100,000 by the end of this year, which is obviously huge. But, you know, dream big. That's what I say. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott, Morgan May. I would love if we could get to $2,000 a month on Patreon. Like Felix said, we get about $1,700 now. Part of that, I think, of hitting that is going to have to be more consistently posting on Patreon. We try to post about every 2 weeks. Having a kiddo really does affect that, because the minute he's like sick, we drop everything else. Like, content comes out late, or it's shorter, or we have to like completely change what we were going to film to be something that I could film in like a day versus like a full week. So that's hard. Luckily, our patrons are like so sweet and so kind and are always very understanding. The other thing is our Patreon is just kind of like pay what you can. You don't get more benefits paying $5 versus like $1. Everyone can see everything, no matter what tier they're at. And I kind of like that. Originally, we kind of planned to do different things at different tiers, and I think that just makes kind of more sense for people who like make a physical thing. So like with Lemon's Patreon, it's like at $5 you get a sticker every month, and then like at $10 you get a sticker and something else. And anyway, for ours, like it would be obviously much better if we had 2,000 people paying $1 a month than, 300 people paying $5 a month or whatever. So I am just trying to be really upfront about that whenever I pitch the Patreon at the end of like every couple of YouTube videos, because I don't want anyone to be disappointed that they're not getting what they feel they paid for, which is totally fair. So yeah, if we could get that up to $2,000, that would be monumental. Or obviously if we could consistently get our YouTube views, or not views, but like payout up, that would be great. Either or, just to make it a little bit less stressful, especially as everything gets more and more expensive at the grocery store. And my last goal for work is to put about 6 to 7 videos out on YouTube a month. Right now we're doing about 4 a month, once a week. And I think Vlogmas, while it has been a lot of work and really exhausting, and it certainly would not be sustainable for us to post every day forever, I think it has proven that like people will watch an 18-minute video if we put one out. I think that's been my fear, is that now we've made this standard of having like 45-minute to 1 hour video every week, and that takes up a lot of time. So then I don't want to put out a 15-minute video because I'm worried no one will watch it, because people come to expect a longer video from us. And I think Vlogmas has shown that a lot of you guys will watch a shorter video, which is so nice and so sweet and so great to learn. So yeah, I think we're hoping to put out like 3 shorter videos and then like still probably 3 or 4 longer videos a month. And that would be great. Also, like, again, I really love editing. I really love filming. That'd be nice. For my personal goals, definitely want to sew more. I'm hand making, and like by sewing, all of the Christmas gifts for my friends. None of them are done because I prioritized work and Vlogmas. But as I said in the other video, like, I don't think anyone's going to be upset when their present is late, because that's just something that happens sometimes. I really want to get into making rubber stamps. Bo actually has the tools to do it. I think they just don't have any more like rubber. So I'd have to source some of that, which is not impossible. I really, really want to make a stamp for our books that's like, you know, property of Morgan May, or like property of Baby May or whatever, to stamp inside of our books. I think that'd be really cute. I also I want to put like stamps on like maybe the twin or the bunk bed, or like on the wall, or like, you know, and that would just be fun. Kind of part of that, I really want to get back into sending like snail mail. I sent my friend Blake a handmade card that I made out of construction paper. I don't think I made content out of it, but it was just like nice to do some simple construction paper art and like send it off for someone to have. I really love that. I used to really love sending snail mail, and it's just kind of something that dropped off. I didn't have time for, so I just stopped doing it, and I want to get back into that. We have a lot of crafts. We have a lot of construction paper. I'm sure my friends would love to receive things in the mail. So it's something that I want to get back into. I want to continue our buy less mindset. I think it's probably, at the very least, saved us quite a bit of money. And also I feel like it's kind of more creative. Like it really feels like a treasure hunt sometimes, to be like, what can we use that we already have that will work to fix XYZ, or will work to be like a base for this craft or whatever. I think it's been really interesting and fun. The thing that's holding like my rubber gloves when I do the hand dishes every single day, because I'm the kind of girly, I don't mind doing the hand dishes, but I have to have gloves. If you don't have gloves at your house, I'm not helping with the dishes. Sorry. Anyway, the thing that's holding them up to dry every day is literally a thing that was holding baby shoes that we bought. Why would I buy something that's supposed to hold them when I have that? Or we did this in one of the recession core videos, but the thing that's holding our bags by the door is actually something I bought years and years ago that's supposed to hold cutting boards against like the wall or inside of a cabinet. Why would I buy something else that works great? So we get to like exercise creativity and then also save money. Part of that is I have this real problem that I think a lot of us have, where I'm like, oh, it's only $3 all the time, constantly. And lately Felix is like, okay, you do this a lot and it really does add up. And I'm like, does it? And now I'm like, it does. So I'm really trying to, especially the last few months and then moving into 2026, I want to be better about being like, you know what? I really don't need to spend $8 on this. It makes a difference. I would love to say that it's like me just trying to save money, but I think it's just us trying to like survive, as we all are, to really weigh like, is this worth this money right now? Or like trying to think of it as like, if I don't spend this money, then it's putting $8 towards actual groceries later, or you know what I mean? And I am not great about that, so I'd like to be better about that. Okay. Rapid fire, because I'm talking so much. I want to get into biking a bit more. I have a bike. I love it. I think I only rode it like 3 times this year, which is still more than I did last year. But every time I go, I'm like, why don't I do this more? I love riding my bike in my neighborhood. It's so much fun. It's like time I get to be like alone with my thoughts and my music, and like that's really nice. So I want to do that. I'm going to reach out to a company about getting a toddler seat for behind it because I think the baby would really like to go with me. Felix does not like biking. They're not really into roller coasters or anything like thrilling. So it'd be something that me and the baby could do together alone. I want to sing more. I did that like self-care 2 days. And I just sang in the garage and I loved it so much. I want to do that more. It would be very possible. I would just need to schedule it. I could do it. I could do that. And so I want to. I want to start a sewing club really badly. I saw this girlie talking about how she goes to sewing club like monthly, and it's just like her and her friends. They like switch out whose house it's at, and they just like bring their sewing machines and whatever they're working on and just like talk while they're working on it or ask for advice or things like that. I want to start a sewing club, but I want it to be small and I kind of want it to be people I already know. So I don't know what that's going to look like. It's just like a dream I have. I don't think it's something that has to start in January. But like Shelly obviously sews, Bo sews. I think it could also just be like craft club because like we have other friends who crochet, but then we could all get together and like switch out whose house it's at. It'd obviously be at our house a lot because we have a big table upstairs. But I think that would be fun, and then it would kind of force us to work on stuff that is like for us and not necessarily for work. Like I think I would try to not really make content out of it and have it be something that's like just for me or just for me and Felix and whoever we invite to sewing club. Lastly, 2 things. I want to spend more time outside. It's important for a baby to spend time outside. We don't have like a flat backyard, so we can't have like a swing set or anything back there. So it is a little difficult, but now that he's a little bit bigger, you know, when I drive him to the really nice park downtown, he loves it. He loves it. I could do that more. Also, it's good for me. I go outside and I'm like, wow, life is worth living. You know what I mean? They're right about taking that walk. It really does help. And then I want to try and go on like monthly dates with Felix. It's not really something that was super possible when the baby was much younger, but now that he's a little bit older and whoever's like watching him, he can kind of like communicate what he wants to do or things like that. They don't have to necessarily like anticipate his needs quite as much. I think it would be more possible. And like we had so much fun at Lion King. Like we have so much fun when we're just like when we were building the bunk bed. Like we do have a lot of fun when it's just the 2 of us. And we just like when you have a baby, the only time you have to be alone is kind of after they go to bed. And that's hard because you can't really have like a date. You just kind of like watch reality TV and eat snacks, which is still great. But anyway, I kind of want to try and like maybe like every 3rd Friday or whatever, have like a reoccurring thing just so we can like get out of the house and both eat hot food at the same time. So yeah, and I think that'll be super possible, especially because like a lot of the times we'll be like, we need a date night, but we just like stay home and watch maybe like a scary movie that the baby wouldn't be able to watch. So I think that'll be good. Okay, that's it. That is Vlogmas. I had so much fun doing this. I forgot that I was gonna include Vlogmas as one of my successes this year because I feel like we have done really well. Honestly, like so many of you guys have watched it. Thank you so much. And it's been like a lot of work, but like so much fun to like, I don't know. It's been kind of like, I use this example a lot, but it's been kind of like when you're at Disneyland or any sort of like busy vacation where you're just like constantly moving chess pieces to be like, okay, I need to film this and then I should do this and then and then I can edit here. And anyway, and I really thrive with that. I really like it. So that's been really fun. Similar to, I think, like when we do like a stream, when we used to do like stream marathons, it was like a challenge, but there's like the excitement of it as it's happening. I am very excited to rest. I'm very excited that we're ending on such a good note. So, you know, I definitely couldn't do it forever, but I have had so much fun doing this. And I think Felix has had a lot of fun. And while it's been obviously much harder to read all the comments, I am trying to read all of them very slowly. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Even if you just watch one of them, even if you just put it on in the background, it makes a huge difference. And we love this job so much. I really hope that it's something we can continue to do forever, honestly. Thank you for every single comment, every single like. I saw that some of you guys are hitting the hype button and none of us know what it does. Don't know if it does anything, but thank you so much for hitting it. I hope you have a happy new year. I hope you are safe. I hope you are with people that you love. And I truly believe that next year has a lot of good in store for us. I know that things are hard. I know that things are tough. I hope that being here in this little corner of the internet makes it a little less tough. and a little more loving. The world is so scary, but you are so lovely. Thank you so much for a great Vlogmas. Thank you so much for every single thing that you guys do. Special shout out to our patrons. If you're thinking about joining Patreon, I think you should. I think it's a great time. I love to read the comments over there. I love to talk to my friends over there. And you get to join our close friend story where we mostly post about behind the scenes stuff or silly videos of us that we couldn't necessarily put on the big internet. Stuff like that. So, yeah.
On the 25th day of Christmas, the goofs gave to you some hope about a better future. Happy New Year.
Vlogmas
Is over. If you watched it, then it's over now. Can you say Merry Christmas?
Mommy.
Mommy. You know, that's just part of having
Is my
glasses.
cleavage out too much?
No, it's out the perfect spot. First, we should be still for a thumbnail because we always forget. You think I look too small? You think I look too teeny tiny?
Oh my gosh, she's so little.
I can't even see her. It was really great. We got to stay with my brother and his sister and their kiddo. We're really close with them, so that was really nice.
Your brother and his wife.
What did I say?
My brother and his sister.
And also, I accept probably an app.
Or
Sorry.
a Google Drive. A Google.
A Google.
A Google.
Use your Google, perhaps.
And like screw Google, but like
Here we are.
here we are. That's going great.
Oh wait, hang on. Let me do some sort of noise so it'll be easy to cut. Should we clap? Perfect. Go ahead.
Hurt my ears.
Have a great end of the new year. What? That's not a saying.